we are far more used to hearing the Beatitudes from Matthew rather than this version that is from Luke. And at Wendover Junior School, some of the values, each of the values that the school has, and I won't put Ben on the spot and ask him. Ben, can you remember what the values are at school? Respect, Jens, responsibility, and reflect. Well done, you. That's good. Wait till I see Mr. Kinnison will tell you. And each of those values has a biblical passage that goes with it. And I now can't remember which one actually has the Sermon on the Plain as the support to that value. And when I was first going in, I was a bit like, a Sermon on the Plain? And actually clocked that there was a real difference. And as I read that, you hear that Jesus actually stood on a level place. We hear about the Sermon on the Mount, where he goes up the hill, as he does, quite often in teaching. But in this occasion, he's actually on a plain. And whilst there are lots of people all around, it's actually the disciples that Jesus is really talking to. The crowds had their needs, and they were fulfilled. Some of them had come to be healed, and it says their troubled spirits were cured. But it is actually the disciples that he's come to really talk to and to unfold to them what it means to be a follower. So that's true for each of us as well. And we hear quite often, if somebody sneezes, you might say, bless you. Or if you see someone, perhaps a child, you say, oh, bless them. A word that we might use without often really thinking about what we're actually saying. In worship, it's sort of got a sense of thanksgiving, and we have a blessing at the end, where the person who is the priest is giving the blessing on behalf of God to each person who's there. So it can mean to make holy or to consecrate. But Jesus' blessings that come in this passage are ones that are quite surprising for us. He's saying he's blessing the poor or the hungry. He's saying that those who weep are holy. And the disciples would have been quite bemused by what Jesus was actually saying to them. But it's actually his words also for some of them would have been a moment of recognition and a promise there for each one of them. So whereas the Sermon on the Mount is all about Jesus lavishing blessing on those on the hillside, in his world like ours, who are the people that don't have much time for, people in pain, people who are working for peace instead of profit, people who have mercy instead of revengeance. But actually what Jesus may well be doing is blessing those around them who wouldn't necessarily receive a blessing. And we hear the words of the poor, for those who hunger, for those who weep, and for those who people hate. Those are where the blessings are coming on to them. But I'm going to get Michelle to press the button that's going to play a clip of film. And this is an American priest called Nadia Bolz-Weber. She is covered in tattoos, but she's I found this when I was looking at stuff. We quite often use a website called Roots on the web that gives lots of inspiration. And this clip was here, and I think it gives something far greater to explain what Jesus was saying.
Blessed are the agnostics. Blessed are they who doubt, those who aren't sure, those who can still be surprised. Blessed are those who have nothing to offer. Blessed are they for whom death is not an abstraction. Blessed are they who've buried their loved ones, for whom tears could fill an ocean. Blessed are they who've loved enough to know what loss feels like. Blessed are they who don't have the luxury of taking things for granted anymore. Blessed are they who can't fall apart because they have to keep it together for everyone else. Blessed are those who still aren't over it yet. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are those who no one else notices, the kids who sit alone at middle school lunch tables, the laundry guys at the hospital, the sex workers and the night shift street sweepers. Blessed are the forgotten. Blessed are the closeted. Blessed are the unemployed, the unimpressive, the underrepresented. Blessed are the wrongly accused, the ones who never catch a break, the ones for whom life is hard, for Jesus chose to surround himself with people like them. Blessed are those without documentation. Blessed are the ones without lobbyists. Blessed are those who make terrible business decisions for the sake of people. Blessed are the burned out social workers and the overworked teachers and the pro bono case takers. Blessed are the kind-hearted NFL players and the fundraising trophy wives. And blessed are the kids who step between the bullies and the weak. Blessed is everyone who has ever forgiven me when I didn't deserve it. Blessed are the merciful, for they totally get it. You are of heaven, and Jesus blesses you.
I'm guessing that as Nadia spoke of those blessings, that you may have been thinking, that's me at this moment, or that's been me at some time, or I know somebody who's in that place. And it's recognizing, as so often Jesus does, to recognize that he's there for everybody, and that the blessing of God is there for us all. That as we go around our daily lives, being able to engage with all sorts of people who are the ones that Jesus really wanted us to be with, is just so important. So often those people are the ones who will be hidden, those who are unable to speak about what's happening, those who just feel that they're totally down in the ground, but also one that's just catching my eye as I realise those who can't fall apart because they have to keep it together for everyone else. When life's such a struggle, but having to be able to hold on so that people don't notice what's going on. The kids who sit alone at the lunch tables, the laundry guys at the hospital, those that are forgotten, those that are closeted. And as you saw at the beginning, the title was Blessed the Unemployed, the Unimpressive, the Underrepresented. There are so many people in our world that are struggling in so many different ways. But actually here what Jesus does is say, you are the people for whom there is hope, there is a blessing and thanksgiving. And those are the people, as I say, that we are called to go and to, in being blessed ourselves, in so often what we have is far more than others have. And particularly, I've been noticing over the last couple of weeks about food banks and the increase. We actually got some figures from John Shaw, who sort of the person in Wendover who works particularly closely with the Chiltern Food Bank. And in the Wendover area, so he delivers to Wendover, Aston Clinton, Stoke Mandeville, and obviously Wendover itself. Over the last year, the number of people that are being receiving parcels has hugely increased. And that's not what we would expect, is it, around our society. But there are so many people who are struggling so much. And Jesus is saying, you are the people who will be blessed, whose lives can be changed. But we also reflect on the woes, those who would expect life to just be sailing along. They're not always the ones that, woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your comfort. Woe to you who are well fed now, because you will go hungry. And we don't want to see that in people's lives, but we know that things don't always stay as well as they might. So as we go about our daily lives, we know that Jesus was the one who came to us as someone that was vulnerable, and we look for crying out to him, to look for his blessing, God's blessing to a weak in the world that only admires the strong. We need to be looking out for all of those who are weak in our world, weak next door to us, weak on our streets, and in our societies, being able to give that blessing to each one of them in our lives and as we go about our daily work and play, wherever we may find ourselves. So I hope that those words of Nadia's will stick with you, and think about who we can be being a blessing to in our week. Amen.
Notices. Helpers. I'm going to plead for helpers, please. We need helpers for live streaming. Please do Howard, me or Sally. Sparklers. I could do with some extra pairs of hands occasionally as people disappear off the holidays and things like that. Sparklers is our toddler group on a Monday morning. Please email me or grab me this morning. We are really blessed to be able this year to have a pancake party for our junior school age children, preschool up to age 11. I'm going to need some help, please. Natalie and Zoe and myself are meeting tomorrow evening to bring this together. So perhaps if you could let me know if you're happy. Preparation before to be here on the day, Shrove Tuesday, then perhaps you can send me an email. That'd be really great. Sally, anything else?
Just really looking forward to that.
Right, so keep an eye open and your ears open. There's going to be lots happening during Lent. We've got book recommendations, we've got speakers organised, churches together are producing like a menu as well, so a bit of a pick and mix. So keep your eyes and ears open for all that will be happening during Lent. And I think that's it.